Hello, my name is Lewis and this is not financial advice. This is one of those topics that I find a constant battle in my head. I'm going to try and help you understand where my decision-making process was and how I made the decision that I did. So maybe you are in a similar position. You have some money in the bank. You know you want to do something with it, but you're not quite sure what the decision is. But ultimately, you want to make a smart decision. You want to make a good decision, which helps your money make more money. So as somebody like myself who is big on investing, why then did I decide to spend £100,000 on my house rather than put £100,000 into other assets? So I want to hear in the comments if you would have made the same decision that I made. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a breakdown of the numbers as well, so you can see kind of what I spent and what the result is from spending that money too. Some of you may be thinking, but Lewis, your house is an asset. Don't be silly, Lewis. It's all good. Chill out. Don't worry about it. Well, I'm going to challenge that way of thinking, and I'm going to challenge that assumption because it is an assumption we all make. Now, I'm a believer in the definition of an asset being something that makes you money. And when I talk about making money, what I really mean is that it generates me an income every single month. It cash flows me money. It puts money in my pocket every single month. Now, that is why your house, by that definition, isn't actually an asset by definition. It's actually technically considered a liability. And that's because your house is costing you money on a monthly basis. On a month-to-month basis, in the here and now, it's not making you money. So don't come at me with all of this, but in the long run, you will have made money, you can sell it for more than you bought it for and all of that sort of jazz. I get that, I understand that. But will I? There's no guarantee. What if the impending market crash means that my house value goes lower than it currently is? What if the area that I'm in, for whatever reason, becomes really run down and a lot of people move into the area that run it down and make it not very nice? Assumed profits and assumed value growth do not an asset make. Speak to all of my crypto friends. It's a fantasy at that point. It isn't profit. If it isn't realized profit, it's just fantasy. Now, I like a good fantasy, but I think that's for a different kind of video channel, which I might set up. I'm all about multiple streams of income. Now, believing that my house isn't an asset and knowing that I could generate a way better return elsewhere with that money, for example, just by using it to trade with, why did I do it? Why did I spend that money? Now, for context, I could have bought houses that cash flow me, say, £1,200 a month from that money fairly easily. It wouldn't have been a massive stretch to be able to do that. I could have put that money into my trading account and comfortably made around £5,000 per month tax-free, because I'm based in the UK, from that pot of cash as well. But I didn't. I spent it on new floors. I spent it on a new kitchen, a Love Island style garden, a garden office, aka my shed. I spent on new carpets, a new bathroom, and lots of little bits and pieces to make my house a home. And I think that's where the key difference is. You see, I believe in investing, but I also believe in living a life with some form of emotional joy and emotional peace. And I think your home feeds into making you feel like you're at peace. Peace and pleasure taken in simple things like the home in which you live are wildly underrated. Wildly underrated. They have a massive impact on your emotional, your mental health, and your ability to actually do the things you want to do as well. I would like to stop people glorifying a lifestyle of 100% hustle and perfect investment decisions at the expense of your peace. Let's also not forget, I'm not a single guy. Crazy, I know. Who would have me? Who would have thought that there would be anyone out there willing to put up with me and my constant thinking craziness, my work ethic, all of that sort of stuff, my drive, my ambition, my difficulty, my emotional whatever, all of that stuff. I can't and I won't force someone to live the exact life that I would be happy with. That isn't fair. It also isn't right. It's actually quite arrogant to assume that somebody is going to be willing to live that way and force them to as well. My primary motivator for spending that money was because my house was, an absolute state, to be honest. It was horrible. It was an absolute mess. And when I bought it, I knew we were buying a project, and it certainly was a project. Now, we've made it beautiful. You can see some of the pictures that I'm showing you here. And I love a good transformation. I'm all about it. I'm all about a bit of property porn. I love watching Homes Under the Hammer and seeing what they've done with it, although not generally my taste. but I love seeing a transformation, and my goal is to transform lives for the better with what I do, and I may as well do that with my own home as well. Why not transform that? I work better and I work harder and more peacefully because I have a home base that makes me happy to spend time in it. And I also get to entertain in that space too, which makes me and my other half love what we have in terms of the house that we've created, because we love spending it with other people. That's why we hold social events for Star Trading for my business at our house. We love to welcome people in. So I promised the numbers, and hey, if this was an investment, it would have worked out pretty well at the end of the day too. So we bought it for 427,000-ish. We spent about £100,000 on it. Now I'm giving you ballpark figures here. It's now valued up to 650,000. So that's about 100K's worth of value added onto this home, which is pretty lush, right? But it's unrealized profit. So I've also invested heavily over the past few years into actual investments. So it was about time I enjoyed the money and the fruits of my labors on something else. It's not a bad thing to be able to do that. You want to enjoy the money you're making as well. And I always encourage my trading students to spend some of their profits on something fun. So let me know in the comments what you would have done. Would you have spent it on your home or bought actual assets? Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this content with someone you think of now that is going to benefit from it. I'm Lewis, and this is not financial advice.